Here's how to deal with stress in business. Hi, my name's Gollan, and for the last 25 years I've been coaching business owners on how to achieve epic business growth. I've lived this, I've spilled blood over this, sweat, tears, the whole 9 yards, and I freaking love doing what I do. And I want to talk to you about stress. Oh yeah, baby. Stress in business is legit. Until now. See, what happens is most people, if you're doing stress, that is your body telling you that you need to do something, that you need to take action. And usually it's not action about moving away from what you're stressed about. What you're stressed about. Usually there's things within you that you need to go and resolve. So don't be fooled by, oh yeah, work is so stressful. No. You need to go into what the real thing is that's stressing you out. Maybe you haven't learned how to deal with stress. Maybe you don't know how stress is created. Maybe you're making choices that accelerate the stress. Maybe you're making choices that plant the seeds of stress in your mind and your body. Let's unpack this for you. When you're doing stress, it's because you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself. Why? Because you're stressing about something. So you're not looking after yourself. There's an absence of love and acceptance. So let's look at where this could be presenting. How are you in the food choices that you make? See, if you're eating foods that are inflammatory, and if you don't know what inflammatory is, look it up. Basically, it's crap food, and it's causing inflammation in your body, and that will predispose you to stress. High sugars, high crap, all those energy drinks, all of the typical foods that you know you shouldn't eat, but you make excuses to yourself to eat them. Oh, I don't have the time. A disorganized person will eat shit food. Why? Because I love shit food when I'm disorganized. And you will too. So if you organize yourself with healthy food, you won't succumb to the fantasy of this drink will fix it. I'm craving sugar or whatever it is. First thing you've got to look at is what you're putting into your body, because you are what you eat. That's a law, man. That's a living law, and if you're breaking that, it's adding to your stress. So now let's look at what you drink. What are you drinking? If you're having alcohol, you're having too much caffeine, you're having too much energy drinks, too much everything, and if this is making you uncomfortable, the thing that's making you uncomfortable is what you need to go into, because it's creating stress for you. See, what I learnt in business and in helping people do epic business growth over 25 years, and I'm pretty freaking stubborn, so it took me a long time to learn this, is you are what you eat. And even though I'm an athlete and I love to fuel myself well, if I don't have a goal, I would always eat over-sugared stuff. Like that's a big weakness of mine. That's something that I have to really keep myself in check, because my weight goes. I'll get big and then I'll go do a lot of exercise. And the exercise can hide the protection that I put on myself. So if you eat shit food, you're trying to protect yourself. But what it does is it gives you inflammation. And that's the same thing for drinks. It's inflammatory. And what it does is it builds stress into your body. And that's what breaks you down, so you succumb to colds and flus and to little ailments, and then it keeps going. It gets worse, doesn't it? Strokes and heart attacks. You need to look after what you put into your body from a fuel point of view, but also from a thought point of view. So let's have a look at what you eat, what you drink. Anything to do with uncomfort around them, you need to go write down where you're getting uncomfortable about and what has come to your mind. When you start regretting the foods that you eat and the drinks that, or the fluids that you put into yourself, write down what you regret, because they're the things you need to delete. You need to take them out of your life. Your ability to deal with stress there's a lot of areas we can work on. One is what you're doing within your body, what you're feeding it and what you're fueling it and what you're putting into it. What negativity are you around? How's your mental self-talk? If it's negative, you need to change that. You need to become aware of it. You need to work on it and you need to get it positive. How do you do that? Be grateful. The bridge to go from negativity to positivity is being grateful. Being grateful for a lot of people, you can start, there's a cool process that you can do is just write down 10 things you're grateful for each day. And then what you want to be able to do is get to the point where you can write 100 things like in a minute. It's pretty quick if you can do it in a minute. But if you can do it in a couple of minutes, 100 things. So what do you start with? Most people are so unable to write down what they're grateful for because they think it's got to be something big. No. I'm grateful for the skin that I've got. I'm grateful that I've got nails. I'm grateful that I can move my hand, because some people don't even have a hand. The thing about gratitude is what you're grateful for is what you'll magnify in your life. So you be grateful for the great things and the small things, and you'll get more of it in your life. It's just a universal law. But the more that we dwell, the more that we stress, the more that we negative, the more negativity we bring into our life. So we look at our foods, our fluids, our thoughts. What about your environment? What about the people that you're around? What about the work that you're working on? What about your relationship with money? The relationship with yourself? The relationship with your partner, with your team, with everything in your world. First thing you've got to look at is the relationship with yourself, because stress is self-inflicted. How are you treating yourself? We talked about the fuel, we talked about the food, we talked about the thing. Are you exercising? But you've got to exercise, but are you exercising? Or are you trying to focus on the money because the money's going to fix everything? When are you going to learn that money is not going to fix everything? Everything's going to fix everything, but everything in its time. So look at what you're doing within yourself. That's the first thing. So for me, I was doing a lot of stress and I was doing a lot of anxiety. So I started doing a lot of Google to try and work out on myself rather than trying to, because a lot of people that they blame everyone. They want everyone else to sort their shit out so that they can remain the same. If you're doing that, you're projecting, and you just don't have a good relationship with yourself, and you're invulnerable to the point where you don't want to change, but everyone else will change. The fastest way to change anyone in this life is to change yourself. Fastest way to change stress for you is to change your relationship with stress. If stress feels bad, you're going to dread stress. But if you can be grateful for stress, because as an energy, it's telling you to move. It's telling you to move on the issues that are creating the stress. So why wouldn't you be grateful for it? But if you're not listening and you're blaming, you're going to focus on the external and not the internal lessons that you need to learn from it. So guess what's going to keep happening? You're going to keep getting the lesson. And for business owners, that lesson is going to be about money. And that lesson is going to be about disorganization. And that lesson is about inaction or lack of it. And that lesson is about not delegating. And that lesson is about you need to learn how to attract the right type of people that can do the right type of work in the right type of time frame, in the right type of manner and conduct, so you don't need to stress about it. Everything that you're blaming things on is because of how you feel about it. You need to change your perspective about how you feel about stress and the origins of stress within you to fix your relationship with stress. How did I do it? First thing I did was I became conscious of my breathing. Because when you're stressed, you don't breathe. So Wim Hof does some really cool things with breathing. There's a lot of good breathing techniques. There's one that I did, which was box breathing, where you breathe in for 5 seconds or 6 seconds, I think it was, 6 seconds. So you're breathing in, which is one side, for 6 seconds. You're holding for 6 seconds, breathing out for 6 seconds, then you're holding for 6 seconds, and you just repeat that. Now, when you're stressed, you won't be able to get through one of those. Well, I can't. I can't when I'm stressed. But then when, after a period of time of doing that box breathing, breathe in 6, hold 6, breathe out 6, hold 6. After you do that for a period of time, my record is 20. Going around that square 20 times. That's what I did when I'm really good at it. And then you'll elevate from that, and you can do another type of breathing, which is like 4 in, hold for 7, out for 8. So rather than being a square, it's like a triangle, sorry. So breathe for 4, hold for 7, out for 8, 4, 7, 8, 4, 7, 8, 4, 7, 8 as a triangle. Do that, start with breathing. Then look at what's the stress telling you. So when you get stressed, rather than freaking out and blaming everyone, ask yourself, okay, stress, what's this about? It'll tell you. You just got to take action on what it tells you. Could be the food, could be the money, whatever. And sometimes it's a pattern. You just keep doing it and you just keep stressed about it. So you need to fix what you keep doing. So stress is an internal decision. Look at it as an energy that needs to be used, and it needs to be used towards solving the real issue, not the situation, the real issue. And it's up to you to use your intelligence and your genius to find out what that real stress is from. I've given you some signs, I've given you some symptoms, I've given you some solutions. It's time to get to work. Stress is good, but you need to enjoy it. And then what will happen when you start mastering your relationship with stress, it won't come up anywhere near. You'll get to a level of calm. When you master yourself, you will master the external. When you are right, the business is right. When you are right, your life is right. All of this stress and all of this anxiety and all of the blaming that you do, it's all signs to show you what it is that you need to work on. Because the quickest way to change your world is to change yourself. Thanks for listening. Let's do epic. I'm Casey. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.